So I'm going to show you the second drink, the drink that you would stir instead of shake. Now this, I'm sure you've all heard of an old-fashioned. This is a little bit different than the most common version of the old-fashioned. Most bartenders and guests know old-fashioned is with the bourbon, the orange, the cherry, the sugar cube, the bitters, all of which you muddle and then add ice. That is actually the later version, the more modern version of the old-fashioned. The very first one, the original, is spirit-driven. There's no muddling involved, it's just stirring. And the reason why I like this, I like to talk about this most at my hotel bar, is it surprises and delights our guests. Because they know an old-fashioned how I just described it to you, and I'm showing them something new. And this creates guest loyalty and excitement, and they leave with something more than just well-constructed cocktails. So I'll go ahead and start the spirit-driven, traditional old-fashioned, okay? So you want to take your mixing glass, we have that right here. Then you want to take your bourbon, take it from the back shelf. And again, this is a great time to upsell. When someone says, I just want an old-fashioned, your next question is, what type of bourbon would you care for? And then expect to have two alternatives that you carry on your back bar ready to suggest to the guest. Shows that you have pride in your job and that you're an expert in your position. So I like to measure that out. It's going to be 2 ounces. Again, we measure absolutely everything. And instead of a sugar cube, we want to, just because a sugar cube is mass-produced and it's refined sugar, at a luxury hotel bar, the way I enhance the quality of cocktails that I give to his guests is it starts with the best ingredients. So I use raw turbinado sugar instead of a sugar cube. I go ahead and do 1.5 bar spoons of that. Then you take your Angostura bitters, a few dashes of that. You want to take a touch of water, just a few drops. Okay. And what's different here is you use both an orange peel and a lemon peel, not an orange slice. So you want to give it a little squeeze so the natural oils from the zest gets released into the mixing glass. Okay. Go ahead and pour your 2 ounces of bourbon. You take your mixing spoon, give it a little stir to start dissolving that sugar at the bottom before adding ice. That's a little trick to it, because otherwise, if you add ice without doing a quick initial stir, you're going to over-dilute your drink, most likely. So go ahead and stir. And as you get more experienced and you bartend more and more, you'll start to know just visually when your drink is ready. But for those who are a beginner, feel free to taste it and see if it has a good enough water dilution with the ice. But one visual cue that I go by is when stirring, all of the ice is submerged by the spirit. That's a good indicator that your drink is ready. But even though I've been doing it for 8 years, I still from time to time will taste my drink just to verify, especially if you're in a fast-paced bar and that's just quality control. So you grab your mixer, take your glass. An old-fashioned should always be in a rocks glass or an old-fashioned glass. Pour that in there. Sometimes you'll see at the bottom a little bit of residual sugar that hasn't dissolved. That's perfectly fine. You want to go ahead. An old-fashioned still needs to be on the rocks, even though we diluted that already. But instead of using the same rocks in which we stirred, we're going to use a nice larger cube. Nice large cube like this. You can come in a sphere, like I'm showing you, or in a cube. me finish it off with another orange peel.